Welcome to Himalaya's Soul Touch. The human mind is powerful and important tool that we can access to. Before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below saying I subscribed. We will try to personally reply to your comment.
Let any past thoughts going through your mind slip away as you listen. They are not important at this time. Your life with as much benefit and enjoyment as possible. It is now your time to live, and it is your basic purpose to preserve life, to proliferate life, to be productive and make life as enjoyable and as rich with benefit as possible for yourself and others. You exist in a universe of cause and effect. Everything you do is a cause with an inherent effect. Every effect simultaneously becomes a new cause, thus creating a chain of events that produce your experience of life. The fundamental principles of personal wealth are causes with the inherent and predictable effect of producing benefit. As you listen, you realize that these principles are a part of you in all you do. You are aware that things exist both on a material and non-material level, known as reality. Reality is defined as that which in fact exists. Fact is defined as a thing that has actually happened or that is true. Your material reality is that which you know exists as proven through your senses of sight, touch, taste, hearing, and smell. Your non-material reality is represented by thoughts that, although they have no material substance, are experienced in your mind as if through one or more of your physical senses in combination with your inner feelings of emotion. You are now living in the material world. You are known only by the material effects you cause as you express your thoughts and feelings physically. Everything you do, every action you take, is a result of those thoughts and feelings you choose to hold in your mind and believe as true, whether based in fact or not. Therefore, it is important that your thoughts and feelings are based in the fact that they accurately cause you to do that which in turn causes the environment to produce clear and present valuable benefits. This is the purpose of the fundamental principles of Personal Wealth Program. Listen carefully. Open your mind to receive these principles as the seeds of wealth that grow to produce a life experience that is full and rich with material, social, emotional, and spiritual benefits for all who use them. You take complete responsibility for everything that happens as a result of your actions. Through this, you discover what it is that you do that contributes to causing the results you experience. Those who blame other people or circumstances for the undesirable results they experience remained blind to the true causes that exist within themselves. If you experience an undesirable result and you begin to blame other people or circumstances, the words "I am responsible" come into your mind. You determine what you did that contributed to the undesirable result and make those changes required to cause benefit. You forgive yourself and others for wrongs done and mistakes made. What is done is past and cannot be changed. You use the lessons you have learned as the basis for the action you take to avoid loss and cause benefit in the future. Through this, your mind is cleansed of destructive thoughts and feelings like guilt, revenge, and resentment. Your mind is then free to focus on what is to be in place of what has been. Free to be filled with thoughts and feelings that cause benefit. Those who choose to allow negative thoughts and feelings about the past to fill their mind are like a driver moving down the road with eyes fixed on the rear view mirror, destined only to experience the results of the accidents they have caused by not paying attention to where they were going. If you begin to have thoughts or feelings of guilt, revenge, or resentment, the words "it is forgiven" come into your mind. Then you refocus your thoughts on those things you are doing that cause benefit in your life. You promote beneficial thoughts that stimulate feelings like love, enthusiasm, and happiness within yourself because they make you and those around you feel good. You cast aside those destructive thoughts that make you feel uncomfortable, like hate, envy, anger, jealousy, and sadness, because they do not cause benefit. You love yourself unconditionally. You accept and appreciate yourself as you are. You are comfortable with the fact that you are changing for the better based on what you are learning from experience. Through having this unconditional love for yourself, you are able to give the same love to others. Giving love causes love. You can only give what you own. Those people who do not truly love themselves are unable to truly love anyone else. They are unable to cause love to exist in their environment, and when it is given to them, they are unable to experience its full benefit. If you begin to have destructive thoughts and feelings like anger or dislike towards yourself or someone else, the words "I love you" come into your mind. You willfully focus on thoughts that stimulate positive, beneficial emotions within yourself, which you use to help accomplish your objectives. You give of yourself that which causes benefit for others in a way that does not jeopardize your ability to continue doing so. This process of giving causes the effect that a benefit will be received in return, as determined by the principle of balance, that for every action there is reaction. You have complete faith and confidence in yourself because you base your conclusions on the material evidence, and you use those principles that you know work to provide benefit based on your own personal experience. Through this, people gain confidence in you and your ability to produce consistent, beneficial results. Those who choose to put faith in concepts that are not supported by the existing material evidence remain blind to the protection and benefit provided by knowing the simple, obvious truth, and remain vulnerable to people who promote false concepts for their own personal gain at the expense of others. If you begin to feel doubt, the words "I believe in the facts" come into your mind. Then you seek and find the answers to those questions causing doubt as revealed by the material evidence existing within your environment. You reject people who would have you believe in things that do not actually exist, or who would have you believe in concepts that do not cause verifiable and mutually beneficial results when applied. You are calm, relaxed, and in control of your emotions in each situation you face. The things you experience in life are your greatest form of entertainment. Many things you do are important, but you refuse to take any of it too seriously. You are here to enjoy your life, not suffer through it. Through this, you are able to maintain a clear, rational mind and draw accurate, reasonable conclusions regarding events that take place in your environment. Those who allow themselves to become emotionally upset decrease their ability to make good judgments, thus increasing the possibilities that they will cause undesirable results. If your emotions begin to overshadow your reasoning, the words, "I am calm and reasonable," come into your mind. You stop what you are doing and relax. You resume dealing with the situation reasonably after you have calmed down. You maintain your good health through a positive attitude, proper nutrition, daily physical activity, and by avoiding harmful substances. Through this, you avoid the pain and limitations you would suffer through bad health. You make sure you do all things that are your responsibility, that are required to support the beneficial aspects of your environment and accomplish your objectives, no matter how hard or unpleasant some of them may seem at the time. Each time you successfully complete a hard or unpleasant task, you strengthen your willpower and confidence to tackle any situation you face. Those who find excuses to avoid doing those things that are their responsibility doom themselves to failure. If you begin to make excuses and put off those duties that are your responsibility, the words, "I do it to cause benefit," come into your mind. You recall the benefits you will gain and the losses you will avoid by completing the task, and you begin taking action as soon as physically possible. You resist the temptation to do something for short-term personal gratification that could cause hardship or cause the loss of current beneficial situations. By doing so, you increase your self-respect along with the continuing respect of those who provide benefit to you. Those who give in to temptation give up control of themselves to that which tempts them. If you begin to feel yourself being tempted to do something that would cause an undesirable result, the words, "I choose not to do it," come into your mind. You remember the hardships and losses you would experience by giving into the temptation, and you refuse to do it. Then you either remove the object of temptation from your environment, or you remove yourself from its environment immediately. And you become involved in an activity that is directly related to accomplishing your objectives. You are patient with the time it takes to do things correctly, provided there is visible material progress. In doing so, you remain calm and supportive as long as you know progress is being made. Yet you are ready to act if there is a lack of progress. Those who lack patience and apply pressure when things are proceeding productively can cause flawed results. And those who remain patient in the absence of progress never get results. If you begin to feel impatient, the words, "I am patient with progress," come into your mind. If there is visible progress, you remain patient. But if there is a lack of progress, you take that action required to get things moving. You only invest time solving those problems that threaten to cause an undesirable effect regarding beneficial situations in your environment. To you, solving these problems provide the opportunity to remove obstacles to achieving your objectives. Through this, you have more time to invest in doing those things that benefit your objectives, and with each problem you solve, the quality of your life increases. Those who waste time complaining about the undesirable effects problems are having on their lives make it hard, if not impossible, to find quick and effective solutions. When you are faced with a problem, the words, "I focus on the solution," come into your mind. You find out who or what is doing or not doing whatever is causing the problem. Then you replace it with a new cause that will get the desired results and effectively solve the problem. You adapt to and use those things in your environment that you do not have the power to change, or that you need not change to accomplish your objectives. You change those things you can and must change to accomplish your objectives. Through this, you gain wisdom and increase the ease by which you cause benefit in your life. Those who refuse to adapt to the inevitable, or refuse to make those changes that can and must be made, commit themselves to a life of struggle without benefit. When you become aware of something that you can and must change to accomplish your objectives, the words "I change to gain" come into your mind, and you take action to make those required changes. If you find it hard to accept something that you need not or cannot change, the words "I adapt to the inevitable" come into your mind, and you find ways to work within the situation and use it to your advantage to cause benefit and accomplish your objectives. You choose to do things at those times that the environment will respond most favorably to accomplishing your objectives. By doing this, you improve your ability to get the results you desire. Those who choose to give little consideration to the timing of their actions increase the possibility of causing undesirable results. If you find that you are waiting for opportunities that are not materializing, the words "I make things happen" come into your mind, and you take action to cause an environment that is more receptive to serving your purposes. You concentrate your full mental and physical attention on what you are doing at that given moment by keeping your mind free of thoughts that are not relevant to your current activity. You only allow yourself to be interrupted if it is regarding something that you must do to avoid loss, or it is relevant and beneficial to what you are doing at the time. Through this, you maintain an environment that allows you to do the best job you can to get the results you desire in the shortest time possible. Those who do not pay complete attention to what they are doing and allow themselves to be easily distracted by irrelevant interruptions lose their momentum and make foolish mistakes. If you begin to lose concentration on what you are doing, the words "I concentrate on what I am doing now" come into your mind, and you refocus your attention on your current activity. If you are interrupted from a task, you return and complete it as soon as physically possible. You look for that which is beneficial and useful to accomplishing your objectives in each situation. You realize that opportunities for benefit can be disguised in the form of misfortune or temporary defeat. Through this, your mind remains open to receiving the benefits that exist in all situations. Those who allow themselves to dwell on the negative aspects of situations fill their mind with thoughts that cause undesirable results. If you begin to dwell on the negative, the words "I find the useful benefit" come into your mind. Then you look at the situation again and find what you can use to cause benefit and accomplish your objectives. You make decisions easily by simply choosing to do that which it appears will best move things along to achieve your objectives as determined by the existing material evidence. You gather and analyze enough specific and accurate information to help make the best choice as obvious as possible. If the best choice does not become obvious, you tap your creative powers by concentrating on the known factors and then allowing your mind to form images regarding the unknown factors. You also consider what would happen if you combined various things in new and different ways in new and different situations. When you consult with others as an aid to making a decision, you seek the advice of those who are qualified based on their experience in achieving beneficial results regarding the subject. And you also consult with your close, loyal allies who will be directly affected by your decision. You determine the potential results that can be expected from each of the various options before you by answering the following questions. What would happen if? What do I stand to gain? And what can I lose? Then you choose and use that option which appears will best work to your advantage while holding the others in reserve. Once you make a decision, you begin taking action as soon as physically possible. And you stick with it until it is completely worked to experience the results, unless you are forced to change your decision because new material circumstances that cannot be changed have come up that will cause loss if new direction is not taken. You only make those decisions that are within the scope of your authority and responsibility as accepted by your environment. You refuse to allow other people to pressure you into making a decision before you have given it due consideration. You judge things based on the purpose they serve over what they are made of. Through these processes, you make the best decisions possible at the time and quickly move forward to accomplish your objectives and increase the benefits you receive in life. Those who make poor choices or make decisions slowly and change them frequently trap themselves into suffering inevitable, undesirable results and rarely, if at all, experience the benefits to be gained by finishing what they start. If you begin to make assumptions in place of acquiring accurate information on which to base your decisions, the words, "I get the facts," come into your mind. If after you have gathered the facts and you still find it difficult to make a decision, the words, "I learn from experience," come into your mind, and you choose that option before you that seems most correct and beneficial at the time. You realize that you learn from the results of each decision you make and use that knowledge to increase the accuracy of future decisions. You have the ability to accomplish anything that you want. That is, in fact, physically possible and within your physical and mental capabilities. You know you are succeeding and you expect success because you are continuously doing those things that are functionally relevant to accomplishing your objectives, and there is no other result that can be expected. Through this activity, you naturally attract those forces and people that assist you in those efforts. You focus on doing that which causes the people in your environment to react and move things in a direction that serves to accomplish your objectives. If you are at a standstill or having a hard time getting something going, the words, "I get started," come into your mind, and you begin doing whatever seems easiest at the time that will move things forward to achieve the desired result. If you are faced with a complicated or large task, the words, "I proceed one step at a time," come into your mind. Then you break it down into simple, doable steps arranged in a workable order of priority and complete each step one at a time. Through this, you relentlessly move forward towards the inevitable accomplishment of your objectives. You achieve excellent results by doing what is necessary to ensure that the products of your efforts contain no detectable flaws or mistakes before being presented to others. You achieve the best results possible with what you have to work with in any given situation. You meticulously complete all advanced preparation and finishing work required to ensure that the final results contain no detectable flaws or mistakes. You give your full attention to those details that are relevant to serving the intended purpose. When you become aware of a mistake or a flaw, the words, "I correct errors as they are revealed to me," come into your mind, and you take action accordingly. You refuse to give up on achieving an objective unless it is proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is physically impossible based on existing material circumstances that you are unable to change. If you begin to feel discouraged or frustrated, and you begin to think about giving up for no real justifiable material reason, the words, "I succeed through persistence," come into your mind, and you continue working with the situation to achieve the results you desire. If you begin to think that circumstances are making it tough for you, the words, "I am tough," come into your mind. Then you get tough and do what is necessary to keep things moving towards the accomplishment of your objectives. If something you do fails to achieve or exceed the results you expect, the words, "I am learning to succeed," come into your mind. You change your approach based on what you have learned from the experience. Then you begin again to take action until desired results are achieved. You acquire the information and skills needed to serve your purpose in accomplishing your objectives. You privately practice and perfect those skills you must develop to serve your purpose, and you mentally visualize yourself successfully executing those skills in advance of their actual application. You regularly do research to increase your knowledge and stay abreast of new developments regarding the subject matter that is relevant to accomplishing your objectives. If you find that things have come to a dead stop because you don't know how to do something, or you lack information important to continued progress, the words, "I do research to acquire the knowledge I need," come into your mind. Then you immediately seek out and acquire that accurate, specific, and factual information that is relevant and useful to achieving your objectives. You take those risks that can and must be taken to accomplish your objectives. When you begin to consider taking a risk, the words, "I take necessary risks and I put the odds in my favor," come into your mind. Then you do what you can to increase your ability to get the results you desire and minimize any losses you could experience should it fail based on circumstances beyond your control. You do what is necessary to protect your interests in advance and leave as little to chance as possible. Then you go into each situation you face with confidence. You only trust those people who have proven themselves to be trustworthy based on their history. You put all agreements of major material consequence in writing, stipulating the duties, rights, and responsibilities of each party, including the punishment to be suffered should a commitment be broken. To you, the feelings of fear and worry are simply instinctive emotional mechanisms that alert you to possible danger. If you begin to feel fear or worry, the words, "I overcome fear and worry through action," come into your mind. You study the situation and decide if the object of your concern is supported by the material evidence. If the material evidence supports your concern, you immediately take action to eliminate its cause. If it is not supported by the evidence, you realize there is no need for concern. People react to you based on the image you put in their mind by how you look, by your material surroundings, by what you do, by what you say, by who you associate with, by how you treat people, and by how they see others treat you. In other words, everything they know about you will form the basis for what they think and in turn do regarding your interests. You want other people to form a mental image of you that makes it easy for them to draw conclusions and act in ways that are most favorable to accomplishing your objectives. Therefore, you acquire what you need to maintain an image that serves that purpose. You do this by noticing the images that others, successful in accomplishing objectives similar to yours, have established in the minds of people by their appearance, their surroundings, and their actions. Then you use it to your advantage by developing your image to include those characteristics, thus making it easy for people to relate to you in a similar fashion. You let your actions and appearance speak for themselves. You keep your environment clean and in a good state of repair. You only make those commitments you can keep, and you keep the commitments you make, unless it becomes physically impossible based on new, unforeseen circumstances that are out of your control, or you were provided with false information by those who solicited your commitment. Before you make a commitment, you make sure that it will be beneficial and that it will not conflict with any other commitments you have made. You build a margin of safety into your commitments by allowing yourself more time than you think you need. By doing this, you cause others to be able to trust you and rely on your word. If you find yourself being tempted to unjustly break a commitment, the words, "I keep my commitments," come into your mind. And you stand by your commitment unless you can successfully renegotiate it. You refuse to enter into transactions with people who break their commitments without just cause. They have shown themselves to be of no reliable value to producing mutually beneficial results. You are loyal to and support those people who support you and the accomplishment of your objectives. If you are tempted to do something that would result in your own personal gain, at expense or loss to your allies, the words, "I am loyal to my trust," come into your mind, and you refuse to do it. You give priority to the feelings and concerns of your allies over others. You refuse to associate with those individuals who are disloyal because they cannot be relied on to represent and defend the mutually beneficial interests in their environment over their own personal gain. You greet people with a warm and friendly smile. You look people directly in the eyes when communicating in person. You make sure that your conversations end on a statement that is beneficial toward your objectives. You avoid arguments by allowing others the right to their opinion and by refusing to participate in heated emotional conversations. Instead, you discuss differences reasonably, with the objective being to learn the truth as determined by the relative material evidence. You take full responsibility for understanding what other people are saying and what they mean by it. You listen carefully with an open mind and without interruption, so that you obtain that information being provided that is useful to achieving your objectives. If you do not understand what is being said, you ask that it be repeated. And if you do not understand what it means, you ask for a definition. If someone gives an opinion that will have a bearing on a decision you will make, then you ask them to explain the facts on which their opinion is based. You give consideration to those opinions that are supported by the verifiable material evidence and that are relevant to the accomplishment of your objectives. If someone makes a statement that you know is false, you correct them so the conversation can remain based in truth. If someone makes a statement that is negative toward your objectives, you counter with a statement that is positive. If someone pays you a compliment, then you simply smile warmly and say thank you. If someone begins talking about things that are not relevant to your interests at the time, you respond by asking a question that will require an answer that is relevant. If someone begins making cynical or sarcastic remarks, you disregard them as the useless, self-justifying comments of a frustrated person, and you refuse to participate. The spoken and written word is powerful. It causes people to think, make decisions, and then take action accordingly. Therefore, you learn and use words and phrases that are positive and encourage those thoughts and actions that are beneficial to accomplishing your objectives. You use words that accurately describe things in the way you want them understood. You take complete responsibility for other people understanding what you are saying and what it means. You talk to people in a straightforward manner, using simple words that best express what you mean. When you ask a question, you expect an honest answer that is accurate and specific, and you persist with the question until you acquire the information you need. You state your ideas in a way that relates to satisfying those interests and needs in your listener that benefit your objectives. If someone rejects something you say or represent that is relevant to accomplishing your objectives, you realize they are not rejecting you personally. You ask them for the reasons behind their objection, and you either produce information that overcomes their objection, or you change things so that the objection becomes invalid. In place of criticism, you give constructive advice. You only provide others with that information they need to serve their purpose in accomplishing your objectives. When you want someone to do something for you, you describe exactly what you want them to do and the results you expect. If they resist, you describe the benefits they can expect to gain and the losses they can avoid by complying with your request. If you are wrong about something, you admit it. You put emphasis on what is agreeable over what is disagreeable. You are completely honest with yourself and others. But if the truth could be used by someone to cause you or your allies unjust harm, or it is not relevant to the purpose they serve in your environment, then you keep it to yourself. You give consideration to the possible effects you may cause by what you say before you say it. When involved in a conversation, you remain silent and listen until you have something to say that contributes to the conversation in a way that is beneficial towards the accomplishment of your objectives. You know people for what they are based on the results of their actions in place of how you hope they would be. You only participate in transactions and relationships that provide mutual benefit to those who are involved. And you only enter into partnerships with trusted allies where the liabilities are shared in proportion to the benefits. You show sincere interest in and take good care of those people who take good care of you, because they are the most important people in your life outside yourself. You aggressively seek out and establish alliances with those people you need who have objectives that are compatible with yours and also have the knowledge, experience, skill, and ability to serve their purpose in achieving your objectives. You maintain alliances with those people who treat you good, who are loyal, honest, trustworthy, supportive, self-motivated, and encouraging. while willingly serving to do those things that are beyond your interests or capabilities, that must be done to achieve your objectives. Otherwise, you move them out of your environment as quickly as possible. You refuse to become involved in the private affairs of others, and you refuse to let others become involved in your private affairs unless it becomes necessary to avoid the loss of a beneficial situation in your environment. You socialize and meet regularly with your allies to share information, make decisions, and solve problems. You are understanding and empathetic regarding the unfortunate circumstances that may afflict others. Therefore, you help them as best you can without jeopardizing your security or harming your ability to accomplish your objectives. You are kind and courteous. You treat people with respect and make it as comfortable and enjoyable as possible for people to be around you. You maintain harmony and balance in your relationships and do what you can to make it fun and enjoyable for people to work with you towards the accomplishment of your objectives. If another person willfully takes action to harm you or your allies, or they maliciously try to keep you from accomplishing your objectives, you ask them to stop. And if they persist, then you take whatever appropriate action necessary to remove them from your environment. You are just and fair in your dealings with people, therefore you treat people with equality. You willingly cooperate and follow the instructions and leadership of others when to do so provides you with a clear benefit and assists in the accomplishment of your objectives. You take the leadership role regarding the accomplishment of your objectives. If you become burdened with more than you can do in the available time, you acquire someone who is qualified to do the work based on their experience and abilities. Then you assign them the least decisive of your duties and responsibilities at the time. You train people by showing them the basics of what you want them to do and explaining the results you expect. You request that they ask for help if they are unsure about something, and you put them right to work. Then, if they do not produce satisfactory, beneficial results in a reasonable amount of time, you replace them with someone who can. You provide a comfortable environment for people that makes it easy for them to feel like they belong. You also provide those materials and resources they need to do their job profitably to accomplish your objectives. You give people the opportunity to earn substantial benefits and accomplish their objectives by participating in the accomplishment of your objectives. You provide people with the opportunity to improve their lives, to serve a beneficial purpose, to stick out from the crowd and fight the opposition for a worthwhile cause by doing their part to accomplish your objectives. You promote a teamwork atmosphere by allowing each person to do their job without undue interference while holding each responsible for the results they cause. You exercise your authority only when it is necessary to keep others from causing undesirable results. You encourage people through positive reinforcement by frequently giving compliments for jobs that are well done. You motivate people to keep focused on doing those things that serve to accomplish your objectives. You lead by example. Therefore, you follow those procedures and principles you expect other people to follow. You reprimand someone only if it is necessary because they are causing undesirable results in your environment. If you must reprimand someone, you do it privately and as close to its cause as possible. You unemotionally explain what they did incorrectly and the losses it did or could cause them, and you explain how to do it correctly in the future. You immediately discharge anyone from your environment who intentionally does something that causes harm or loss to you or your allies. If someone gives you incriminating information about another person, you get the facts before you decide what action to take. You reward those who achieve or exceed any productivity standards you have set. You willingly assist those people who are working to accomplish your objectives as they requested. You share the benefits and acclaim earned by the successful accomplishment of your objectives with those who assisted you. You increase your opportunities by putting yourself in what you learn is the best place at the best time with those skills and materials that will give you the greatest advantage toward achieving your objectives. You judge each situation based on its own merit because you know that no two situations will be exactly alike. When you receive an unexpected benefit from your environment, the words, "Thank you, I deserved that," come into your mind, and you use it to assist in the accomplishment of your objectives. You keep your methods, the way in which you do things, as simple, efficient, and basic as possible, by only doing what is necessary to achieve the desired results. You keep your environment free of clutter by only holding on to those things that serve a useful purpose towards the accomplishment of your objectives. You keep things organized by assigning a place for everything and returning everything to its place for easy access. If you become aware that your resources are being wasted, the words, "I conserve my resources," come into your mind, and you take whatever steps necessary to establish methods that will cause conservation. You maintain a calendar on which to plan how to use your time most effectively in advance. You assign each thing to be done to a specific time frame. You group similar tasks together within the same time frame for increased efficiency. You invest most of your time involved in activities that produce income and that lead to the accomplishment of objectives that produce income. You also set aside some time for enjoyable personal recreational activities as a reward for your progress. Each objective you want to accomplish obviously takes time and effort. The more time you invest each day to move towards its accomplishment, the sooner it is realized. An objective that will take 2,000 hours to accomplish at 1 hour a day will obviously take 2,000 days. At 2 hours a day, it will take 1,000 days. And at 10 hours a day, it will only take 200 days or less than 1 year. Those who are not already well provided for financially, who spend most of their time on activities that do not or will not produce sufficient surplus income to invest for their future economic security, cause themselves to be at risk of suffering the hardship of homelessness, hunger, and loss of personal independence. When you choose an objective, a simple plan inherently begins to form itself in your mind. The complexity of a plan depends on the number of steps required to accomplish the objective as determined by existing circumstances. You reduce those plans that require many steps to writing to serve as a reference worksheet. Because you live up to your commitments, especially to yourself, you give an objective careful consideration before committing to it by completing a plan to find out what it will actually take to accomplish it. You consider choosing an objective if it has the following qualities. 1. It will produce clear benefits for all who participate in its accomplishment. 2. You will enjoy doing most of those things that you will be required to do for its accomplishment. 3. One or more of your basic personal material needs will be satisfied as a result of its accomplishment. 4. Existing material circumstances appear to be favorable or can be made favorable to its accomplishment. 5. You can use your inherent talents and abilities to serve your purpose in its accomplishment. 6. It will be compatible with other objectives you may currently be pursuing, and it will not conflict with any existing commitments you have made to yourself or others. If you choose an objective that will take more than a year to accomplish, you divide it into sub-objectives that will each take 1 year or less, arranged in natural order of priority. If you have several different objectives, you arrange to accomplish them in an order where the results you gain from achieving one will give you the best advantage for accomplishing the next. You only involve those people in the planning process who will be assisting in the accomplishment of the objective. You prepare your plans based on the following formula. 1. You define your objective by describing how things should be once the objective is accomplished in specific, measurable, material terms with as much detail as possible at the time. 2. You define the benefits to be gained and the losses that will be avoided by yourself and others once the objective is accomplished. 3. You define your current useful resources by describing what you have now that you can use and how you can use it to accomplish your objective. 4. You do research and determine what must be done to accomplish your objective and avoid failure. You decide what knowledge and skills are needed, what materials are needed, what steps must be taken, who will do them, when to do them, how to do them, where to do them, and the reason they are necessary, if at all, to achieving the desired results. 5. You organize the things that must be done in order of priority so that each step is completed in a workable sequence. 6. You determine how much it will cost to acquire and maintain the things needed to accomplish the objective. You group your costs as follows: one-time and ongoing expenditures in amounts that are either fixed or variable. 7. You determine how you will finance your plan and pay all obligations and expenses it will create. 8. You determine by what date you can expect to accomplish your objective based on existing circumstances. 9. You decide if it is worth it to you by determining if what you will get out of it will be more beneficial to you than what you will be required to invest in it. 10. If you decide that accomplishing the objective will be worth it, and you sincerely want to do it, then you determine when you will begin working your plan in consideration of your current commitments. To you, a plan is like a worksheet of probabilities. It is flexible and subject to change based on new information and circumstances. It is a fun and entertaining game to see how close you can come to accomplishing or exceeding the results you desire. Once you have achieved an objective, you celebrate the victory with those who assisted in its accomplishment, and you privately give yourself a nice material reward because you are a winner. Then you choose another more challenging objective and have even more fun. The products of your knowledge, skills, and abilities are worth money when you use them to provide benefit to others. Therefore, it is your responsibility to make sure that you get paid a profitable, fair market price in the name of value and mutual benefit. In making money, there is but one primary objective, and that is profit. The generating of more income than it costs. Everything else is to support that end. Therefore, your primary objective in any money-making situation is to be profitable. You always pay yourself first by setting aside a percentage of any and all income you receive and depositing it as savings into secure income-producing investments. You keep accurate bookkeeping records so that you know your exact financial situation at any given moment, and you use that information to make profitable financial decisions. You only buy what you will use, and you do research to find it at the lowest price possible without sacrificing required quality. You only borrow money if what you use it for will generate enough new income or savings to repay the loan, including interest, plus pay all related expenses, and then provide a profit. You keep your overhead expenses as low as possible without sacrificing the quality of the image you must maintain to sustain and increase your income. The following information is provided for subconscious review. You, purpose, effect, life, cause, produce, benefit, good, effect, yes, learn, real, material, evidence, fact, truth, responsibility, forgiveness, giving, loving, faithful, calm, discipline, self-control, patience, solutions, changes, timing, concentration, mutual, benefit, decisions, accomplishments, objectives, action, function, relevance, excellence, persistence, success, learning, experience, risk, courage, commitments, loyalty, communication, listening, understanding, relationships, leadership, image, opportunity, organization, invest, time, profit, benefit, planning, purpose, wealth, live, enjoy, security, love, respect, you, purpose, cause, life, effect, produce, benefit, good, effect, yes. Now that you have received the fundamental principles of personal wealth, you inherently use them to increase the benefits you cause in life. Each time you listen to these principles, the benefits you receive increase.
Start your journey today with the law of attraction and live your prosper life. Subscribe and press the bell icon for latest updates.